Hi everyone, I'm Lucia. I'm here with our managing partner and founder, Vittorio. Vittorio, ¿cómo estás?
Ma benissimo, Lucia, tu come stai?
Muy bien, muchas gracias. And we're here for another challenge, Vittorio. This time we're going to be talking about the discipline of growth. So can you describe to me in a couple words what it means? What is the discipline of growth?
The discipline of growth is something we ask our clients to do in order to succeed in the marketplace, and it's 4 steps. The first one is what to achieve. Have a clear point of view of where do you want your brand to be in the next 3 years or 5 years. The second one is where do you want to play to achieve that? And where to play is what consumers you want to win, what behaviors you're trying to impact. Once you have that clarity, the third step is how to win. And now it's the how to win, not just about all consumers, but those consumers you want to win, those behaviors you're trying to win over to your brand. And what competitors you want to displace, what barriers, what needs, what drivers you need to focus on, how to best communicate. And then finally, how to reach. So how do you reach those consumers from a commercial standpoint, from a communication standpoint? So following those 4 steps is exactly what will allow you to build competitive advantage and win in the marketplace.
So we've talked about the discipline of growth as being this kind of 4-step model. Can you tell me a little bit more about why it's important?
Well, it's important because for any organization, especially larger companies, it's easy to get a disconnect and start to talk different languages and have dialogues about different ways so you can actually succeed. And so following those 4 steps and making sure that the whole organization is on the same page as you move from one step to the other will allow you to make the right choices. And strategy, and this is not me saying that, it's Porter, strategy is about choice. And if you try to do everything from everyone, you're not going to win. So having this 4-step process will allow you to be clear of the choices you need to make in order to achieve your future.
So this discipline of growth that we've been talking about, how is it different from, Lafley and Martin, their bestseller, Playing to Win? How are these 2 strategies different?
There are 2 differences. One is that we talk about 4 steps rather than 2. It's not just about where to play and how to win. It's start from what you need to achieve, then move into where to play, then how to win, and then how to reach those consumers. Which takes me to the other fundamental difference. They apply the Procter & Gamble and the Monitor Group, this approach across industries and across different types of questions. We at Foresight specialize in answering that for consumer growth strategy. So it's not that we don't do this for every type of questions that we have. For example, if you're trying to expand, what's the next geography, what's the next industry? There's a lot of considerations from profitability that will, consumer trends and all of that will require you to apply this where you want to play and how to win. We tend to apply this specifically to consumer and shopper growth strategy questions.
So this is kind of a nitpicky question, but having those 4 steps, part A, do we put the same importance on all 4 of them? And then part B of that question would be, do we apply the discipline of growth to all questions kind of across the board, or are there certain questions that it's more important to apply to?
Well, to your first question, whether the 4 steps are equally important, I would say perhaps not, but they are all questions that they need to answer. So every company, in our opinion, when they're doing consumer and shopper strategy, need to answer the questions on what to achieve, where to play, how to win, how to reach those consumers. Now, in certain cases, what to achieve may be already determined from senior management, but still having clarity on what the answer is to that question is important. And then to your second question, whether this discipline of growth applies to any single question you have on strategy, I would argue fundamentally yes. You need to have clarity on those 4 steps. And perhaps in some areas it's just about where to play and how to win when it comes to geographies and so on. But in the case of consumer growth strategy, all 4 steps are important, and I cannot think of a different philosophy or framework to approach that question.
Vittorio, are you ready for your last question?
I don't know, it's been a long day.
I'm just gonna... Does that help?
Oh yes, I feel ready now.
Okay, great. So just thinking about the practicality of the discipline of growth, what practical advice would you give to companies to make sure they can implement this?
I would say just ingrain the way of thinking in every strategy question you are posing, and make sure that when you are approaching this question that you really cut your project into these 4 steps, and make sure that you have clear answer to each one of those steps, what to achieve, the where to play, the how to win, and how to reach. Have clear answers before you move on to the next steps. And clear answers, not just you, but make sure they're also aligned within the organization, which is one of the things we enjoy the most at Foresight, which is design workshops where we take our clients through those 4 steps and make sure that there is alignment, that there is clarity and confidence before they move on to the next step. And make sure, if you're a senior leader, when your team is bringing a strategy, ask those questions and make sure that, push them and make sure that you get clear answers on those. If you do, then we have seen it over and over with our clients. You build competitive advantage and you design strategies that win.
Well, that was a great breakdown, and that is a wrap on our challenge, Vittorio. Vittorio, muchísimas gracias.
Ma grazie a te, Lucia, è stato un piacere.
Igualmente. We'll see you next time.
Arrivederci.
Adios.